Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kaizen Spotlight, where we have these very engaging and insightful conversations with people who stand, business leaders who stand for excellence, who have carved a new path for their organizations by pursuing quality, operational excellence, be it continuous improvement, whatever be the path, but they have carved something which is significant and very interesting for their organization. Today, I'm very happy to host, and joining us today is Nihal Shah from Nairobi, Kenya. Hello, Nihal-san. How are you? Thank you for your time.
Hi, Jan-san. How are you? I'm good, thanks.
Thank you very much. For the benefit of our viewers, I would like to, introduce you formally. Of course, I have the pleasure of knowing you for a long time. You have been a true friend, philosopher, and guide for us. You have been very passionate about operational excellence, very passionate about anything that takes the organization forward, which helps the organization and your people to grow. And I have really always admired your belief in, pushing the envelope, helping your people grow, and in turn helping the organization grow. And that is something I would want you to catch you mentioning. Formal introduction: Nihal Shah is the MD and the co-founder of Connex. Connex is an organization which he'll talk about, but they are into water hose, they're into PVC drainage systems, and it's an organization based out of Nairobi in Kenya. And they sell domestically and also export in the region. Established in 1989, he has a master's, a bachelor's degree in management science from the University of Kent in UK, and he's also a certified Kaizen practitioner. He invested 12 days to study formally how operational excellence, how continuous improvement all fits and comes together. And here is a leader who has learned and continues applying. So, Nihal-san, my first question to you: you've been on this journey for several years. At a very personal level, not as a business leader, what appeals to you about continuous improvement, this philosophy of continuous improvement? What appeals to you?
The thing is, once you go into the journey and you start the journey, and then the rewards takes a little bit of time, but when you start seeing the rewards of the journey, that is something that actually caught my eye. And we said, when we just started the journey, and these are the benefits, what are the long-term benefits that we can achieve going along on this journey?
Fantastic. So, as you correctly said, we always say that excellence is like a sapling. You start off with a small seed or a sapling, and you need to nurture it. And when it starts and growing and becomes a full-grown tree, it bears fruits for a long time. And unfortunately, many times people forget this, and they want to pluck the fruits very quickly. Thank you. Very interesting. I'm going to ask you, how did your paths cross? How did you sort of get into this journey of Kaizen or the path of excellence?
So for us, we were doing things the same way and expecting different results, and which was not going to happen. And so one of the companies, another local company, was practicing Kaizen, and we actually sort of had a look at them, look at their Gemba, and to try and see what they were doing differently. And when you walk into a Kaizen practicing company, you will always notice it is very different from a normal organization. And that was something that caught my eye, that what is it that they are doing which we are not doing? And that was probably the beginning of why we ventured into Kaizen.
Yeah, so there you go, viewers. That is the reason why we keep always mentioning that seeing is believing, and this is precisely what happened to Nihal Shah. As he visited another company which was on this journey of excellence, I think that was a lot of inspiration. I mean, you can hear, you can listen to sales pitch, you can read about it, but when you go and visit and see what is exactly happening, And this is probably the reason why Toyota, for example, they say is the world's most visited organization in the world, the most written about and the most researched. But unfortunately, not many people are able to emulate, the philosophies and the practices that probably companies like Toyota or Danaher Corporation, etc., are able to pursue. Thank you for that. And as you got onto this journey, and building your organization brick by brick, and I remember you were in a different location, and then you moved on to a new location. What has been the challenge? And I wouldn't say the challenge is ended. What continues to be some of the challenges you face as a CEO, as a business leader, in promoting this philosophy of continual improvement? Keeping your eye on the on improvements and excellence. What are some of the challenges you face?
You see, Kaizen actually is a culture. Culture does not happen overnight. It requires patience. I think the most important thing is patience. A lot of CEOs don't have patience purely because we want to see quick results. But the journey to excellence is always a small step at a time. And I think one of the things we saw when we embarked on the journey, over time, we started seeing the benefits. And those were the benefits that actually started to appeal to us when the people start to develop, when the practices are implemented. It's not pushed down from top bottom, it's from bottom up. I think that's when results start to show.
Right. And if I ask you, what worries you even now? I mean, do you think it's these practices, this way of thinking, as you said very correctly, it's a culture. It has to become part of the organizational DNA. What are some of the worries that you still that nibbles you? For example, when people change, you have new people coming in. Have you had any experience where all of you believe in one kind of culture and you have an external person coming in who doesn't believe in it? Any such thing that you have faced?
Yeah, so one of the things that we do is, because we have three core values. One is creativity and Kaizen culture. A second one is personal development and respect. And third one is deliver what you promise. So those are the three core values that we live by. Now, whenever we recruit a new person, it is very, very critical for us that the culture fit is first and foremost adhered to. So I can even give you a recent example. We had a new recruit which came in, an excellent performer, he was fantastic at his work, but it's the culture that was not fitting in, the Kaizen culture. And then we decided to make a call. We cannot move forward with this, and we let him go, even though he was an A player. But without a culture fit, it just does not work.
Absolutely. And I remember this episode. He was brought in at a very senior position. And I think, again, viewers, it's very important. This is a very important takeaway. If you have a new, especially in the senior leadership positions, somebody coming in who doesn't gel with the value systems, the beliefs of the organization, I think it is better to get this, separated than let the person continue just because technically the person is very good. Because the culture that you're built is something very precious, and you need to really protect it, wall it, and make sure people don't come and pollute it. Maybe people can come and add help, development and building of it. And thank you very much. Very insightful. Can you reflect about you've been on this journey for how many years now?
So we've been on this journey for almost about 8 years.
So this, I always keep saying that probably you have a Kaizen, some coordinators or Kaizen managers, and you have maybe a Kaizen department or a promotion office. Eventually, maybe a few years down the line, you should not have any of these promoters or offices, because it becomes sort of integral. So that's very important. What has been some of the I want to ask you two questions. One is some tangible impact on the benefit on your company, in terms of like financial impact or impact to customers, throughput time, quality, yield. And once you've sort of recollected and shared a few, what has been some of the intangible ones? Something that you can illustrate as an example, which really sticks out and makes you very, 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 very proud. So
Okay.
tangible first.
So let's start with the tangible first, and I'll give you a very good example of the tangible one, which was when COVID hit in March. We were literally stretched to our overdraft limits, and we had very high inventory levels. So we quickly embarked. The reason for the high inventory levels was purely because our products are seasonal as well, and we did not have a good season. And what we did straight away after that was that we decided to embark on the inventory management module of Kaizen. And thereafter, we started slowly reducing our inventory levels and improving our inventory turns. So from August, we have not had any overdraft till now, touch wood. And that, I think, is purely because of the Kanban system that we revisited. And we also noticed, even though you're a Kaizen practicing company, there are many a times we tend to violate some of the practices, and those were the realizations from this exercise.
Very interesting. So again, viewers, here is a company who could completely get away from the overdraft situation, even during these business times, by focusing on flow, utilizing what he talked about, Kanban, a method of managing your inventory levels, replenishment systems, etc. Very, very interesting. And the moment you deal with your overdraft, that means it's directly to your bottom line. So that's very interesting. Thank you. And what about the intangible? What comes to your mind, Sal?
So for us, the intangible benefits was when we actually sort of relocated the factory. We moved, we did the lean factory design with Kaizen Institute, and we relocated to our new factory. And what we saw as the intangible benefit was that we had almost 94% of our staff relocate with us. That for us was a very significant sort of a number. And one of the things we actually did was we did a survey to ask why. What was it about relocating with the company?
Very interesting.
There was an easier way to sort of look for alternative employment.
And what did the survey say? What was some of the reasons why people moved?
So it was, the interesting thing was also the culture of personal development. I mean, many organizations talk about development, but it's important that personal development always keeps taking place. People need to grow. When they grow, the company grows. And that's as simple as it gets.
Very powerful indeed. And as I mentioned, I think one thing unique about Nihal Shah and Connex is they are investing a lot in their people. And this is not from today. From in spite of being a compact organization, how many people are you, sir? Please remind me today.
Today we are about 124 staff.
You're 124 people. They have always, thanks to the vision of the leadership, believed in developing their people. So they always had regular opportunities to learn, train. They have these sessions weekly where people share what they know. And learning can happen internally. I mean, there are 124 people who can teach you 124 things, right? So everybody has something to teach if everybody has a mindset to learn. And it could be the janitor, it can be the security person. So I think as you learn, your mind expands. Maybe it doesn't have an application tomorrow in your business, but And this learning environment, respect for people, I think it is so important. So very often people talk about retaining people, and we have seen that even if you're not the best in terms of salaries and perquisites, but if you have a culture which is rich, that is a reason for many people to remain loyal with the organization, because people come not only for money to work, they also need a very energizing and a rich experience when they work. Thank you very much, very insightful. So we would love to have these conversations continue, but the format is a little tight, and I have one quick question and then a few rapid questions. Any message? I mean, you with 8 years on this path, where you have been able to bring your people together, drive excellence, keep improving. Any message for business leaders, especially the young leaders? You're young too. So any message that you would like to give relating to dealing with the pandemic right now, or in general, from the experiences that you have? Thank you.
The message to the younger generation is, especially when we talk about the millennials, everything needs to be very quick. Culture is something that will not happen that quick, despite what your intentions are. It takes time, but to be honest, spend that time and the rewards will be very, very fruitful.
So culture, as a lot of people say, operational excellence eats strategy for breakfast, and probably you will say, and this is culture will eat strategy and everything else for breakfast. So culture, would you agree with that?
Yes, definitely, because without that, no matter how good your strategy is, it's not going to get implemented. When you have a fantastic culture, your strategy will probably be implemented and exceed what your expectations are.
Thank you very much. And at the Kaizen Institute, we always say culture is nothing but a bunch of daily practices. So culture is not something that you display only on on specific days or weekends, but it is something that you live by, you believe in, and it happens on a daily basis. And it is something that is shared by everybody. So thank you very much. And before I let you go, there are a couple of fun sides of the question where I would like to probably start off with, what is your favorite sport? And I know your daughter is very, very athletic, and she's into football. She's a little darling, but she's already so much into football and swimming. So what is your favorite sport?
My favorite one would be table tennis, because I practiced that when I was young and actually was good at it. So yeah.
Have you given it up, or do you get some time to?
No, now my daughter beats me, so I have to take.
Okay, what is the last book you read?
The last one I read was actually the one I'm reading right now, is Strategy to Action.
Okay.
Yeah, Strategy to Action, which is purely quite interesting. And I picked this book up from a webinar which is coming up, and Kaizen Institute had sent me something on it.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. Any personality, dead or alive, who inspires you?
Nelson Mandela.
And strange enough, a couple of interviews ago, I had the same personality who came to mind. What do you do to relax, sir?
That's a good question. Just sort of take time off, just be with nature. I think that's, for me, is very relaxing, and probably meditate in the morning. That calms my mind down.
Very interesting. And being in Africa, being in Kenya, you have no dearth of options when it comes to nature. There's plenty around you.
Definitely, and I think being with the wild, seeing the wildlife, actually also just it's one of those soothing, relaxing moments.
Thank you. And my last one is, what is your favorite travel destination?
Travel destination would definitely be Cape Town.
Cape
Second,
Town.
second would come Mumbai.
Mumbai. Okay.
Mumbai,
So we have a
for the food. Cape Town is just beautiful and it's so scenic.
they're so scenic, and if you just drive out probably an hour from Cape Town, there's a lot of vineyards and some great wine tasting, and yeah. So, sir, thank you very much for your time, Nihal San. It's been a pleasure to have this conversation with you. Thank you so much. And before I end, for my viewers, I have to mention something very special, which I wanted to keep for the last, is Stanford University has a program called the Stanford SEED program, where they identify high potential leadership, high potential organizations globally, and they invest a lot of their the Stanford. They have a methodology. They study the organization and they help the organization in defining what is their vision and help them carve out a roadmap which will take them towards impact, and not just impact. When I'm talking of impact, not just financial impact or balance sheet, but to become a responsible, socially responsible organization. And I'm very happy to share with you. And I am not surprised that Nihal San's company, Connex, is a Stanford SEED company. And congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you so much. And to any viewers listening in, I would highly recommend that you apply for this program. It's a fantastic 1-year-long program, and it's quite detailed. And I think it's just going to bear a lot of fruits.
Right. So you just completed the 1-year program. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of information collected, and you have just submitted your roadmap, your outcomes, your strategy, and I think you have come out stronger, wiser from this.
Oh, definitely. And I think it's jointly together with what we are doing. We realized in the program that there was an area we were strong at, and that is operational excellence, purely because of Kaizen. But there also it also picks out areas where you need to improve on, and I think that's what was very, very interesting about the program. Yes, it extended this year purely because of COVID. So the program had to sort of take a step back and relaunch itself in terms of being now digital. So that was quite a challenge as well, and they managed to overcome it. And I think they did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for your time, and I will let you go now. I know I've caught you. I can see your factory right behind you. I've caught you through a Friday, working day, and I'm sure you're going to have a relaxing weekend. Thank you, sir. And viewers, please enjoy this conversation, and we'll see you again in another episode where we will be hosting some more business leaders like Nihal Shah. Thank you, and keep watching. Bye-bye.
Thank you.